Hello, Instagram. How are you all doing? I am coming on for an impromptu live this afternoon just to share a little insight that I had with actually me and my husband the other day. I'm going to hang on until let a few people join. This is going to be available on YouTube as well. So if you don't get a chance to listen, pop over to my YouTube channel. That's Antoinette Coffee Coaching. And all of my lives are converted so you can watch them there. Because I know sometimes it's hard to rewatch lives on Instagram because you kind of have to start at the beginning and it's a little bit annoying. So if you don't have a chance to finish watching the whole thing, join me on YouTube and you can listen in. So, like I said on the title, today I am talking about accountability, and accountability being the secret sauce to success. And when I talk about in terms of success, I don't mean success as in business. I mean success as in across the board, successfully achieving your goals, successfully living a balanced life between work and home, successfully feeling happy and calm. So it's not about success in terms of business, it's success in terms of your personal feeling that you have achieved your goal. And accountability is the secret sauce. And I'm going to share my own personal experience of having accountability and not having accountability, and the results being very, very, very different. So I am a life coach for women who want to discover their life's purpose, who want to reignite that spark, that passion, who want to live boldly and authentically, so that they can create a life that they love. Not a life by default, but a life by design. So I have a one-to-one program. I have other bits and pieces whereby I get to support women to break free of whatever shackles, whatever fears, whatever beliefs are keeping them stuck, and that are stopping them moving forward with their lives and living their lives on their own terms. Because if there's one thing I have learned in my 42 years on this planet, is that it's more important to live authentically and live the way you want. Because if you're living under a pretense with a mask on, it's exhausting, it's tiring, and you are, I suppose, living a version of yourself that's not aligned, and it takes energy and it takes a bit of you, and it can only last so long. So when you're not living in alignment, and when you're trying to be who you think you should be or who other people expect you to be, there's only so long it can last. Something eventually cracks, or there's just an internal conflict ongoing all the time of that real authentic bold you screaming to get out. And I should know, because I lived like that for quite a while. And then I realized how distant I had become from who I really was, and how I had lost touch with the old me, the fun, carefree, old, funny me. I had turned into who I thought a mother should be. So I was very busy and very serious, and everything was, stressful and in a hurry and, irritable and all that kind of thing. Until I realized, fuck this, lads. I don't really want to live like this anymore. It's not who I am. It's not true to me. And I completely changed how I looked at the world. I completely changed my expectations of myself, of other people, of my life. I started to just sit back and surrender to whatever was happening around me. And instead of trying to fix all the things outside of me, I decided to do the work on myself. And I don't like using the term fix on myself, because I wasn't broken, but I had to do the work on myself before the external stuff could fall into place. So I wanted to come on today and talk a bit about accountability. And accountability is, I suppose, it's the driver for all of your if you're trying to achieve a goal, accountability is what will give you the little nudge. Accountability is a person or a group or something where you have to come back and check in with your progress and reflect on what went well and what didn't go well and what was in the gap. And it's somebody to be answerable to. It's somebody who's going to check that you said that you did what you said you would do. It's someone who's going to check that you follow through on your commitments. And it's a tiny little bit of good pressure to keep moving forward. I'm all about moving forward because you can't go back. That's it. Sorry. There's no Marty McFly's here. None of us, no time machines. None of us are going back in time. We're only going forward. But all there really is now. So accountability is having a accountability partner, a person, a group, whatever it is, to keep you moving forward and on the right track. And recently I realized just how important an accountability partner is. So for me, I am an accountability partner for many women. I am the person who they meet every 2 weeks, who checks in. How did that go? What went well? What didn't go well? I'm that person for a lot of women. But for me, I have my own coach in business, but where my accountability fell down recently was in my fitness. So I have been going to a gym for the last few years, and at Christmas I just got a bit tired of getting up early, and I decided that I was able to do it myself. Of course I can. I can go to the gym myself. I know how to do the workouts. I know how to do this, that and the other. I can teach myself and I can do it, of course. And I tried it. But you know what? I need an accountability partner because it was so much harder to get up out of bed when there's nobody waiting for you. It was so much harder to commit to staying and pushing myself when there's nobody watching and there's nobody over my shoulder and there's nobody keeping an eye on me. And I took 6 months off my gym class that I go to, and I went to a normal gym, and like the results will speak for themselves on the scales, on how I feel about myself, on how I look, and more importantly, how I feel about myself. Because really how I look it's aesthetics and all, but like how I feel about myself matters. So because I didn't have anybody that was keeping me accountable, it was just extremely hard to stay motivated and to stay committed to myself. And I realised, I spoke to my husband recently, and he started his own fitness journey, as they say. And he has a trainer who he checks in with once a week and all that. And I just said, God, do you think you'd be as productive with the gym without Nikolai? And he was like, oh no, I don't think so. I think you'd wake up and be like, oh fuck it, I'm not going to go today, or I'll only do 2 reps instead of 3, or I won't bother, whatever it is. So it's so easy to take the easy way out when you don't have an accountability partner. And that's not making you wrong. That's just making you human. We are human, so we will always gravitate to what's easier because we like to stay in our comfort zone. And that is part of being a human. That is part of how our ego keeps us safe. So our ego keeps us safe. So it keeps us in this small box of safety and comfort and familiar. Even though that's probably not helpful, even though it could actually be quite damaging to stay in the comfort zone because it's comfortable and familiar. It's not necessarily serving you or improving your life. So it's not about making you wrong for wanting the easy option. We're all human. It is extremely hard to haul ass out of bed early or to put in a really hard workout in the gym if maybe you've had a shit sleep or whatever. So my point is, when you are accountable to someone, it gives you that little kick that you need to push forward in whatever journey that you're on. So I work with women, and a lot of the women that I come to will say, oh, I've been in this world for a while. I've been listening to podcasts. I've been reading books. I've been journaling. I've maybe done a course, or I've done a workbook, or whatever it is. And it really makes me, I suppose it just really shows me how important it is to have the next level of support if you really want to change your life. And if you really want to make meaningful changes in your life, having an accountability partner is the secret sauce. Because you can read all the books, listen to all the podcasts, listen to the YouTube videos, download the PDFs and fill them in, get the planner, do your journaling, all that. Absolutely, you can do all that. And absolutely, it's going to serve you to a point. But it becomes a point where you need the next level of support. And that's an accountability partner. That's somebody who is going to call you on your bullshit, who is going to say, well, did you follow through on what you said you were going to do? Did you take the time for yourself like you said that you would? And a lot of the stuff I do with my clients would be around people pleasing, procrastinating, poor boundaries, negative self-talk, lack of self-care, limiting beliefs. And these are all traits, and these are all really common with so many women. So if you're feeling that, you are not alone. There are so many of us like that who are dealing with all those things every single day, as well as managing a home, minding your children, supporting your family, going out to work, giving yourself to your career. And then you've got all this internal chatter, internal stuff that's stopping you from living a life that is really and truly meaningful and aligned. And that's where an accountability person comes in. Because until you have someone who will challenge those beliefs, you will continue to carry on the same behaviours, the same habits, the same actions that you always have had. Again, we're human. That's what we do. We are creatures of habit. We are habitual creatures. Again, our ego keeps us in the habits that keep us familiar and comfortable and safe. So don't ever make yourself wrong for repeating the same thing over and over again. We're human. That's what we do. But that is where an accountability person will interrupt that. And that is what's needed for so many women out there. And it might be you who's feeling that I've done the work. I've read the books. I've listened to the podcast. I can see awareness of myself. I see where I'm tripping myself up. I see where my habits are not serving me. But it's having somebody who's the catalyst for change. And that's your accountability partner. Because whether it's personal development, whether it's weight loss, fitness, education, whatever it is, if you're continuing a pattern over and over again, and there's nobody stepping in to go, hang on, why are you continuing to do this? Or why are you not following through on your word? Or why are you continuing to procrastinate, or whatever your thing is? So an accountability person is someone who will hold you to account. Someone hold you to a higher standard maybe than you hold yourself to. And like I said, with a lot of women that I work with, they've done the podcast, the books, they've read the books, they've meditated, they're doing the gratitude. It's like they feel like they're doing all the things. I'm doing all the things. This is what I hear. I'm doing all the things, but nothing is changing. Or things are changing for a little while, and then I slip back into, hi Fiona, things are slipping back into my old ways. And I get a lot of women coming to me frustrated, thinking that there's something wrong with them, thinking that there's something that they're doing wrong. But really, it's having a person who is there to interrupt the flow, interrupt your pattern, stand in your way and say, okay, stop. However you've been operating up to now has given you the results in your life that you have. So if you want different results in your life, you have to operate in a different way. And that is where an accountability person will hold you to account, to make sure that you don't slip back into that old, familiar, easy pattern, and that you stand up and that you take the steps towards the life that you really want. And it's not about, again, blame or shame or any of those things. It's just a fact of life. So like I said, with me, when I wasn't being held accountable in the gym and in my fitness journey, I was eating biscuits till they came out my ears. Like, in my head, I was still going to the gym, by the way. Like, in my head, I was still doing enough. My body didn't get that memo. So I'm like continuing to eat as if I'm in training, and I'm justifying it to myself going, well, I went once this week and I lifted that. So like, well done, Antoinette. You deserve those chocolate biscuits. But actually, I was just hiding, and I was justifying to myself because I didn't have anybody going, hang on a second. You're after putting away half a packet of chocolate biscuits. Have you done any workout this week? Have you burned off the energy so that you can replenish? Have you done the work on your... No. So having somebody, sometimes it's even to show you the obvious. Because when I work with clients, a lot of times when I reframe something back to them, it's like this, you can see this like, oh my God, this realization coming over their face going, oh, I never realized. And it might just be me repeating the same thing back. Because a lot of times I'm with coaching, I'm just curious. And I'm, like I said, I'm the catalyst for change for somebody. And I do that by being curious. And I do that by reframing what they're saying so that they see it in a different way. So if you came to me and you're telling me a story or a situation, my job is to listen, to reframe it, to put it back to you so that you can have a new meaning on it, or that you can see through a different perspective. And that's what coaches do, whether it's fitness coaches, life coaches, like sports coaches. Like, that's the job of a coach. A coach is not there to do the work for you. A coach is there to support you, to show you where the gaps are, and to support you to keep getting better and moving forward. So accountability is without a doubt the secret sauce, because you can't lone wolf it. Much as you might want to try, much as you might have, issues around trusting other people, or, letting your guard down, or even admitting that you need help or you need support. Like, that in itself can be a huge step for somebody to make. But you can't make the changes in your life being a lone wolf. I was a lone wolf for a long time. I didn't feel I needed to let people in. I didn't feel I needed any support of people. I'm okay. I can do this myself. Well, actually, I can't. Well, I can do some of it. But basically, like I said before, the actions and behaviours of the past got me the results of my life that I didn't want. So I got to change, and I got to let my guard down and start trusting people and ask for support and ask for help. And amazing things happened. Amazing things happened in my life, my professional life, my personal life, all because I accepted help. And I accepted the help of somebody who held me to account, who held me to a higher standard than I was holding myself to. And those people in your life are invaluable. And you might not like what they're saying at the time, whether it's a coach or, your trainer in the gym telling you to push it, or whatever it is, or maybe it's a life coach saying to you like, well, that's just an excuse. You might not like what they're saying, but they're the people who will transform how you see yourself and how you see the world, and in turn transform your reality. So if you're not in a situation where you're loving the results of your life and you look around and you go like 10 out of 10, because let me tell you, everyone, you all deserve your life to be 10 out of 10 in every area. 10 out of 10. Don't accept any less than 10 out of 10. But if you're looking at your life and you're saying, well, it's a 10 in areas, but it's a 5 in others, and it's probably a 2 other places, and it's probably an 8 there, reach out for support. Reach out for support off someone. Like, it could be a friend. And like, when I look at accountability partners, it doesn't necessarily have to be a coach. It could be an accountability partner to get you walking every day. You could say to your neighbour, right, we're going to keep each other accountable. We're going to do a walk every evening. I'm going to meet you at the gate at 8 o'clock. That's your accountability partner. It's somebody who's going to be like, you're right, I'm at the gate, let's go. Somebody who will keep you accountable. So accountability, and having someone who's going to hold you to account and make sure that you follow through on what you say you will, is without a doubt the secret sauce in life. Because what they're going to do is they're just going to tease things out Whether it's a coach, they're going to tease things out. If it's a fitness journey, your coach is going to push you a little bit further. Or maybe they're going to say, well, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe we'll try something new. You know, if it's somebody who's out walking, it's the person who's going to stand at the gate and be like, we're leaving at 7. Let's go. Get your shoes on. We're going. So having an accountability partner is huge. And if it's a personal development journey that you're on, just remember, you're not wrong for trying all the things. And all those things, like I said, books and podcasts and gratitude journals, they without a doubt have a place. And they're very, very, very important place. So I'm not dogging those things. But what I'm saying is, by themselves, they're not enough. They're not enough to make the long-term change. They're not enough to disrupt the pattern. If you think about it, you've been cultivating your patterns and your habits for like however many years. I'm 42 years on the planet, so I'm very well versed in doing things my way. So it takes somebody to be the catalyst for change for me, to step up and go, hang on, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You said you were going to do a thing. You didn't follow through. What's in the gap? What's underneath your not following through? And then you get to explore that. That's just an example. But having somebody who's going to disrupt your pattern and stand in your way. And that is what accountability looks like. And what, like I said, whether it's your whatever journey you're on, an accountability person who's a person who's going to stand in your way and go, actually, hang on, try something new, see this a new way, look at this from a new perspective. And then you get to have different results. Because if you continue living the way you're living and expecting different results, we all know the quote, it's insanity. And I know, by the way, so I'm not coming from a place of like patronizing. I done this over and over again. So I know that if you want to make the meaningful change in your life and you want to really transform and you want to really do the thing and you want to reach that goal and create that vision in your life, having an accountability partner is the secret sauce. Because you can do the work, but inevitably, as a human being, you are going to go back to your old patterns, your old ways of being, your old conditioned habits that have been conditioned from your beliefs and your ways of living, your lifestyle, what you've witnessed, all those things. It is so easy to go back into your old patterns. And that's where an accountability person will keep you on track and keep you moving forward. So for me, like I said, it was a huge eye-opener with my going to the gym and having my class and having my trainers and being so committed. And then I just fell off the wagon and I just got lazy. And that's the truth. I just was like, oh, I couldn't be arsed. And I got a bit like, oh, I'm able to do it myself. I can do this myself. And I'm fairly accomplished. There's not a lot of things I won't do. But when I realised 6 months later that I've half-arsed did the gym, continued to eat as if I was training 4 days a week, and I was really unhappy with my results. Bottom line, I was really unhappy with my results. Hello, everyone. I was really, really unhappy with my results. And I realised that accountability was the missing piece. So if you feel that you're like doing all the things, you know, you're doing all the right things, the podcasts, the books, the self-help journals, all that stuff, and still your external is not reflecting the work that you're doing, then you need to go level up. You need an extra level of support because you need to go a level deeper. And that's what it is. Because a lot of the habits and traits and all we have, it's so kind of embedded, we don't even realise. So like procrastinating looks like you're putting things off, but there's a very, very deeper meaning around why people procrastinate and what's underneath that. And it takes work and it takes somebody to call you out, somebody to reframe what you're saying, somebody to show you a new way of seeing yourself and seeing the world around you. And that's where an accountability person will be. That's the catalyst for transformation, is your accountability partner. So I would love to hear if you have your own experience of an accountability partner and having somebody that was holding you to account and how that impacted you. Or maybe not having somebody and maybe you have that frustration that I'm talking about of feeling that you're doing all the things and you're not getting anywhere. And maybe realising from this live that accountability is what's in the gap. So I'd love to hear from you, and thank you so much, everybody. Have a lovely evening, by the way.